The town, the city, the setting. There should be people in the world that are looking to accommodate the reality that is being offered. Meaning, there should be thieves' guilds, groups, gangs in different places. There should be fighters' guilds. There should be places for mages to go learn more about magic, you know what I mean? Like, you might say, well, why would all this be organized? Well, say, let's look at D&D. We're talking about medieval fantasy. So there's no TV, there's no radio station, there's not other ways of stimulating your mind and taking up your time. So you're going to spend more time involved in the world and the little bit of politics that is going on at a lower level. Some people might try the bigger game, but for the most part, there should be a more deeper political situation going on. Now, when you go to a town with a thief or a fighter, you shouldn't even have to look for groups. Groups should be looking for you. The guard knows people at the Fighters Guild. So they see some people coming through the gates that seem like warriors, right? They might talk to you. They might pass the word off. There's some new person coming into the town. And why would it matter? Well, most people would know each other. Again, let's take away the TV and radio, and suddenly your stimulation is involving yourself in the goings on of the world and what's going on around you. So they're going to notice this. The Fighters Guild is going to be looking to recruit people. When somebody new comes into the town or city, they might send people to talk to you. Not you got to go look for them. Same thing with thieves. It could be like someone who deals with the that undermarket who's also a guard at the front gate, and he's going to pass off information that there's people here with some money. You might want to start, looking at these people, talking to these people. Or maybe they notice something about a character, like a rogue coming through. And they think, well, hey, if you're here to stay, let me hook you up with the right people so you don't start making enemies right away. And you should have the cheap car salesman showing up to the table. Hey, what's up? Looks like you're new to town. Could I talk to you? Could I make an offer? Right? And there could be con games going on. But people will notice when you're coming into a town if life isn't TV and radio, because they're paying attention to these things. Even if you're not important as a character, you're low level, you have no reputation, that doesn't matter. Everyone's looking to get ahead. So the Thieves Guild's going to want to get ahead and make sure they know who's coming into town, who they have to talk to. And it could be the same thing for the Fighters Guild and other groups and other people that want to take advantage of people coming in. Maybe the mayor says, any new people coming in, recruit them to the town. Get them to stay here. So he sends his lackeys out, right, to try to make offers to you. Do you want to live here? Do you want to work here? Right? In many cases, Dungeon Master, your players shouldn't have to take their characters and just try to, in a raw way, try to run around and figure out who they should talk to. Most of what's going on should come to them. So even if they want to avoid politics and whatnot, you really can't, right? And that's reality. You can't avoid the politics of a town or a city in some cases. So you have to be confronted with it. And to me, it brings a lot of color to the game when you start confronting characters with this stuff instead of making the players try to figure out, well, who do I talk to get into a Thieves Guild? I have no idea. Especially if you're a new player, right? You're like, okay, it says I should get into a guild, or what do I do here? Well, when you get into the game, a lot of this should be pitched towards you. A lot of this should be coming your way, opportunities. And DM, if your players are passing up on opportunities, fair enough. At a certain point, you stop making offers, right? People stop showing up to the table. But for the most part, offers should be made. People should be interested in new people coming into the town. So it opens the door for you to, forcefully bring NPCs to the group and make offers, or at least hint towards a path that could lead to an offer. Like, not a straight up, hey, you want to join our Thieves gang? But it's like, hey, why don't you come down and meet these people? Maybe we can do business. Maybe we can get that item for you for a cheaper price. Or maybe the Fighters Guild is, really wanting to hook things up, but the benefit to the player who's playing a fighter is there's training, there's weapons that are easier to get your stuff repaired, like your armor, and you could hook up the other party members to these connections by connecting with that, right? Same thing with the priest coming into the town. There should be an assumption that priests should be going to a local church that is related to what they believe and talking to those people. And if not, they should be looking towards new people coming into the town. Like, some guard at the front gate is a religious person. Well, it's like, oh, hey, brother, what's up? Come on in. The church is here. Go visit these people. Blah, blah, blah. So they should be confronted with this stuff to make the whole thing a lot more active, right? Because you can get a sandbox game where your players start the game and you're not doing this, and it seems like they don't know where to start. Well, look, there's a lot of pressures going on that you can apply to get them motivated, to put pressure on them, to have them interacting with people, right? They don't even have to move from the table. People will come to them. So you don't have to have them, in this dry phase of figuring out what to do. And the great thing is, as you bring this stuff on them, they'll figure out what to do. They'll react to all this. And then they're not just dead air, having their character sit at a table, not knowing where they go, right? And what to do next. And here's some good news, Dungeon Master. You don't have to over-detail this stuff out. It could be that you have a Thieves Guild, you have a title for it, maybe you know who the leader is, right? Like a simple name. Here's the name of the leader. He's human, whatnot. Maybe some other slight details about other members, their name, maybe what race they are, stuff like this. So you understand what's what and what their role is in the group. Like, a secondary leader, shit like this. And you get a few names in there. And then once you start playing this out, you're going to have to improvise some stuff, because as they go down to the path and they get to different areas, they're going to maybe start looking around, lurking into what's going on. So through gameplay, you and your players will help you develop that Thieves Guild or that Fighters Guild or anything like that. You don't have to write everything out like you're writing pages to describe each group or, what's going on through the politics. But it's easy to assume some minor details and then develop what that means. Like you have a starting point, you play it out a bit, and then you go back to that board and you add to it. You develop even more into it. And it will be easier to develop that way than trying to write everything out from scratch. What's awesome about this is it makes it easier for characters to get connected to gear, get connected to special prices that allow them to afford things they normally couldn't afford. It allows a rogue to maybe, connect with unique items. Like, I run AD&D 2nd edition, and one of that, well, not all the time, but when it comes to D&D, it's 2nd edition. And they have the Thieves Splat Book. And there's a lot of items in there that I'm very open to. There's a lot of Thieves items that I'm very open to. But you don't assume a lot of these items will be just sold on the open market. Like, here's stuff to help you steal or hide stuff from the guards. Like, that's not going to be so open. But, you get connected to a Thieves Guild and suddenly you're at the black market, right? You have a connection to get items that are going to help. Again, get cheaper items for characters that aren't thieves, like the fighter. Maybe the black market is beneficial to other people for other reasons, especially like the wizard, right? You need some unique ingredients. It's a lot easier to get those ingredients, most likely, when you're connected to a group of thieves that, they're going to operate in a black market thing, right? And some ingredients in the world could be considered almost illegal, right, to find, because there's some weird ingredients out there, and, they're worth a lot of money, and it could create a lot of chaos depending on who's after and what's going on. And so some items could lead people to trying to wipe animals out, right, to get the ingredient. And next thing you know, the king has said no more killing them at all. But it could make it easier as well for characters traveling if they have connections because of their new connections in other places. Go meet this person. He or she will help you out over here. Or here's some information about your adventure you wouldn't have unless you were connected to these people to find this out. And through that, you get special items that might help you, the character, deal with the upcoming threats, things that are going on. Again, information just to avoid danger, avoid places where you may get into an encounter. But if you know this, well, now you can go around and there's no encounter. You know the safe path for trade. Like the traders use this path, not this one, so they don't get robbed on the road so easily, right? Now, all this can lead to a lot of fun. And it gives, it gives the players with their characters, especially early on, a lot of chance for dialogue with non-player characters. And what does dialogue do in the game? It helps you develop your character, and the more of that you do early on, the faster you develop the character, the faster you get immersed through your character, right? The more you know about your character, the more you understand your character, the more it's easier to naturally think for your character. And then you could just be in the game, like you're in as your character, reacting to things, noticing what's going on. And, if somebody says your name 10 feet away, you're not going to hear it. And that is the immersed experience that the Game Master wants you to have. Anyway, I hope all that helps. When it comes to adding something different into the game that a lot of DMs don't do, where they could play off the politics. It doesn't have to go too deep. It's pretty common sense, and it lines up with the things that are going on in the game and what's offered in the world. Why wouldn't people, if this is the reality that there's these groups, there's thieves, fighters, all this stuff, there's going to be people that want to take advantage of that, have success, make money. They see people are interested in it, and that's how the market reacts, right? People are going to step up when they know there's something there to, accommodate. And they're going to accommodate that thing. People will be there waiting for you, right? And that should be a reality in the game. And I notice a lot of DMs don't seem to think of things that way. They don't really offer the world in that way. They don't offer places that you would think would accommodate some of this stuff if it's regularly going on, which it is in some cases. They don't think about these things. So I want DMs to think about this stuff, especially if you're new coming in, right? Just consider the world is going to accommodate things that make sense to accommodate. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're someone who's looking to start a business, you're going to want to start a business on something that people want, right? Like you're going to look at what the customer base is saying. This is what I want, and you're going to show up to the market, with your business going, here, I got the thing that you want to make money. Well, it's going to be happening all throughout time, and it is. And it should be happening in the fantasy world more than what we see presented to us by a lot of people that run these games. Anyway, for now, take care. You know what you can do? You can hit the like button. You can share the video. Oh, and there's another button you can press. That one that lets you subscribe to my channel for more content. Oh yeah, there's that bell thing. You can press that so you know when I've uploaded a new video right away.